Picture yourself on an ordinary city street where everything seems solid, calm, and completely safe. Then, in just a few seconds, the ground starts to move right beneath your feet. But the scary part is this: the earthquake started long before anyone could feel it. Most people think the Earth is just one big solid rock, but that's completely wrong. The surface is divided into huge tectonic plates, and they're always moving. They move slowly, at about the same speed that your fingernails grow. But the force they have is enormous. Sometimes these plates don't slide smoothly. They eventually get completely stuck. And when they stay locked in place, energy has the potential to build up gradually over years, decades, or even centuries. An earthquake doesn't happen because the Earth explodes. It happens because a fault finally slips. What you feel on the surface isn't just a random shaking. It's energy moving through the Earth. These are seismic waves. And they travel in different ways. That's why an earthquake can feel like vibration, swaying, and sudden jolts, all at the same time. But here's what surprises most people: magnitude isn't everything. The type of soil beneath a city also changes everything. Now we come to one of the strangest effects of earthquakes: liquefaction. For a short period, the ground can start to behave almost like a liquid. If the earthquake happens under the ocean, another threat can arise: a tsunami. But a tsunami doesn't start out as a giant movie-style wave. And even after the main earthquake stops, the danger isn't over. The crusts are still adjusting, and this can trigger aftershocks. The Earth may seem still, but it has never really stopped moving. And when it moves violently, understanding this can be the difference between chaos and survival. So if scientists understand earthquakes, why can't they predict exactly when the next one will happen? The problem is that faults don't rupture on a perfect schedule. The Earth is just too complex. Scientists can identify dangerous regions and calculate the risk, but not the exact time, place, and intensity of the next quake. Some systems do something different. They detect the first fast waves and warn people before the strongest shaking arrives. But that's not real prediction. It's a race of seconds. When the Earth starts shaking, your brain might need a few seconds just to figure out what's going on. At first, it might feel like a heavy truck is passing by. Then, the room really starts to shake. One of the most dangerous mistakes is trying to run while the building is still shaking. The best thing to do is to drop down immediately before the shaking gets worse. Protect your head and neck, because falling objects can become the biggest immediate threat. Then, hold on tight to something sturdy until the shaking stops. During those seconds, the biggest danger might not be the ground itself, but everything that's falling around you. Outside, the danger can come from glass, walls, signs, power lines, and unstable structures. Buildings don't just collapse straight down. They twist, sway, crack, and collapse in stages. A dangerous failure happens when a weak lower floor can't support the floors above it. Bridges, roads, and overpasses can also give way because the ground beneath them moves unevenly. Sometimes the earthquake is just the first disaster. Broken pipes, damaged wires, and fires can become the next threat. Aftershocks can happen minutes, hours, or even days later, and structures that are already damaged might not withstand the next tremor. Sometimes the ground splits open, not because the whole planet is breaking apart, but because the soil above the fault is deforming. In mountainous regions, earthquakes can destabilize slopes and trigger landslides. Water systems can also be affected because the tremor puts pressure on dams, reservoirs, and underground pipes. If the sea suddenly recedes after a strong earthquake, that can be a natural warning sign. When the wave reaches shallow waters, it slows down, compresses, and rises up. The more you understand what's happening, the faster you can make the right decision. The plates slide, energy is released, waves spread out, the ground can give way, and the oceans can move. All of this happens beneath our feet and visible until the moment the surface starts to shake. The Earth may seem still, but it has never really stopped moving. And when it moves violently, understanding what's happening can be the difference between chaos and survival. And what if the earthquake happens under the ocean? The danger isn't limited to underground. In the end, an earthquake isn't just the ground shaking. It's the Earth releasing energy that has been hidden and still for years. An earthquake is the energy that stayed hidden beneath our feet for years. And when the surface finally stops moving, the planet keeps on moving, silently.